Good morning, all you Loganites out there. Welcome back to the Appalachian Trail story. So basically, when I left off, we had just left the Mormons, okay? Well, I had taken my NCLEX and gotten back on trail and hung out with the Mormons for probably about a week. And they were fun, they were awesome, they were cool. But moving past that, I think the next thing that really happened that was big was I went into the next town, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the town. I can't. However, I am gonna go get my trail guide book and look it up so I can tell you. Because I went in town and I stayed at this hostel, and this hostel had a lot of great reviews. However, it had just been taken over by the dude that used to run its son. And I got some weird, creepy vibes off this guy. Like, real shystery, real not good vibes. And I should have taken, like, you know, my gut feelings and just left then. So, like, what was it? One of the dudes that, like, saw me at the trailhead, that drove by, was like, hey, you need a ride into town? I was like, no, I'm good. He goes, well, where are you headed? Or I said, I'm waiting on someone to pick me up, and it was a dude from the hostel. He goes, well, whose hostel are you going to? And I told him, and like I said, I'll tell y'all too when I remember. And he goes, oh, all right. And just his demeanor and the way he said it, he didn't really say anything bad, just the way he said it. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't the best choice. But I'll have to look it up and tell y'all, because it was a nice place, just creepy, creepy vibes. And I talked to other people that stayed there, and they got the same feeling. Actually, shout out to you, Tammy, because I know you're out there right now. She also stayed there and got creepy vibes. Her and her husband did. But what can you do when you need a place to stay? You need a place to stay. However, cool thing that happened when I went into that town and stayed at that hostel with all the creepy vibes, there was a dude that also gave me creepy vibes at the beginning of the trail that I met. And he was basically like a recovering alcoholic that was using the trail to kind of get himself together. Met him at the beginning of the trail. We hiked together. I didn't necessarily want to hike with him, but we did. And 3 months later, 2 months later, a month and a half later, I stop at this random hostel, and he's there working there at the hostel. Right? Small world. Small world. But anyways, that's what happened there. So I came out of there, and I got my pictures pulled up here on my phone to kind of keep me on track. Because yeah, you can remember places, but the faces is what reminds me of the stories. Like you can name a place, if it's not Springer Mountain or like Fontana Dam or something that's very spectacular like the Smokies. It's very hard for me to put a memory to the place without having a picture of me there with the other people that were there to kind of jog it. At least for me. This is why I find it super important to record all your stuff, or to keep some sort of record, something to keep you on track of what happened, because so much does happen, right? So like, if you're thinking about going out there and doing the Appalachian Trail, please, for the love of God, record it. Record it. Whether it be pen and paper, video, pictures, whatever, record it. And take more than you think you need, okay? Alright, so now I'm remembering. Alright, so after that hostel with the weirdos, I left. And I kind of hiked on my own there for a little bit, for 3 or 4 days. This was the time that, at one point, I just wanted to go be alone. So, like, I looked on the map, and I noticed there was a shelter that was, like, 4 miles away from any roads or anything else. And I was like, I'm gonna go hit that shelter early, okay? And just be all by myself. Well, I got there, and I'll be real with y'all, there was black flies like you wouldn't believe. Like, torturous amounts of black flies. So in my head I go, screw this, I can't stay here all day. Bug it. So I packed up all my stuff, and I looked at the map. There is a mountain 3 miles away on the trail, or maybe the summit's like a half mile off the trail, but it's a mountain. It's close, and I have to hike in my water. What time is it? Okay, so I've got my 2 1-liter life water bottles. I have my 3-liter bladder that goes on the water filter, so I can carry up to 5 liters. Will 5 liters get me through the night? Yes, 5 liters will get me through the night. So I packed up all my stuff and hiked over there. And I kid you not, I put my tent, I put up my bear bag all by myself, and had this completely nice open area all to myself. And it was kind of like one of those, like, I'm a hiker. Like, yeah, I did it. Like, I'm all by myself. There's no one within miles. It's just me, myself, and I. And I didn't see anyone for the whole day, whole night, until the next morning when I hiked through some other campsites. It was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And it kind of makes you go, or makes you understand how easy it is to lose someone out there, because I was only a half mile off trail. And I know there had to be like other people that came through, but I was only a half mile off trail and never saw a single soul. And like clear, like you could still see the trail from a half mile away. You know, I just didn't happen to be looking that direction when anyone came through. If they did, you know, give the benefit of the doubt. But there's interesting and cool things about the trail. Very cool things. The coolest part is how it kind of pushes people together. You know, you're out there, you're vulnerable, you're all alone, so it kind of breaks down that social stigma of what's mine's mine, what's yours, and kind of puts you in a we're all in this together boat. I say that because right after that, you know, I was all by myself. I think his name was Carlos. I met Carlos just randomly at a shelter. We ended up having dinner together and hanging out. Well, Carlos's wife was picking him up from, all right, it's the like Whitewater Resort in North Carolina. The Knock, down at Haley Outdoor Center, okay? So we hiked down in there together, and I said, Carlos, I'm buying you a beer as soon as we get there. He goes, okay, sure, whatever. We hiked together the first day, hiked together the second day, the third day we get there. We get there, we buy a beer together. There's 2 other hikers that show up. They're like, hey, do you want to share a room? 2 other people I've never met before. Yeah, we share a room. We get blitzed on beer. They've got a restaurant there. We hang out. His wife comes the next day to pick him up. Okay. Nice, fun bird people. His wife comes the next day to pick him up. She brings us lunch and whatnot. And we have lunch together, and then he goes back home to Atlanta, and I go, keep on going. Okay? It just puts you together. It really does. It pushes people together. And like, would I have ever known Carlos? No. Never. Never would I have ever been able to have dinner with him, talk with him, learn about his life in a semi-safe environment. Like, hiking truly like breaks down those barriers. So Carlos leaves. The next person I meet, Tammy. Now Tammy, I love Tammy. Tammy's amazing. Tammy's a middle-aged woman, tiny woman on a tiny frame. Okay. And the way I meet her was, I actually was hiking out of the NOC. And if you ever have, you know, it's like that steep, just blah, 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 all the way up. And you know, I've only hiked the first 500, but I'll never forget how that hike down into and the hike out of the NOC was just like, what the hell? Why is there so much up and so much down at one time? So, hike out of there, and I get to the shelter I'm looking for. When I get to the shelter I'm looking for, I can't actually find it. It's like straight line winds have come through. It was like on the spine of a mountain, and straight line winds have come through and knocked down all the trees. So I'm having to like hop over trees to find the sign or any kind of trail or anything so that I can find the shelter for the night. So I'm doing all of this, and I find it. Well, I start going down to the shelter, and I see this woman all alone trying to get a fire started. Okay, she's at the fire pit trying to get the fire started, and she stands up real quick like a deer in headlights, and in the back of my head I go, oh shit. She thinks I'm about to hurt her. She thinks like I'm gonna be a weirdo. Alright? oh fuck, this is how this night's gonna go. It's gonna be one of those weird nights that it's hard to get comfortable. It's gonna be real awkward. This is gonna suck. Okay? So I hike down in there, and the first thing she says to me, she looks at me, she goes, "Thank God you're here. Thank God you're here." I thought I was gonna have to sleep all on my own here tonight. You don't know me. I could be that weirdo. I could be that crazy person. Like, thank God I'm here. You're a single female all alone in the woods. What are you doing? But lo and behold, she's kind of like a mom. Okay, she's like middle 40s, upper 50s, or upper 40s, younger 50s. Good looking lady. But she was hiking the first like 200 miles of the trail with her son and his fiance, maybe, or his wife. Anyways, they just left. This was her first night all alone, all out there, all alone. Okay, so yeah, she was a little trepid, a little bit scared about being out there. So she was happy to see me, and we actually got pretty close. So she was a slow hiker, and I was slow at the time as well. And I was like, "Tammy, this is where I'll be going tomorrow." She goes, "Oh, well, I can go there too." I'm a slow hiker, but I'm slow to get out of camp, and I'm a slow hiker. So don't wait on me. Just go ahead and go, and I'll meet you there. That's what we did. We did that for like 3 days, 4 days. I met some interesting people. But I got to know Tammy. Her husband, I think his name was Brock, was supporting her on the trail. It would like come bring her food and snacks and check on her and stuff every few days. So I mean, like, she wasn't technically all alone, but she was. You are at the same time. Anyways, we're about to get to Fontana Dam. Okay, right about to get to Fontana Dam, and it's my birthday coming up, which I don't know. It's kind of like a give and a take kind of thing. I don't know if it's important, but it kind of made me feel important a little bit. But anyways, we're a day before Fontana Dam, and it's like, say, like 9 miles, 10 miles away. At this point, my legs are getting a little bit stronger. Tammy's still moving pretty slow. So I was like, "Tammy, look, I'm going to Fontana Dam, and I'm going to stay at that resort." She goes, "I don't know if I'll be able to make it." And I go, "Tammy, I know you can. Not only do I know you can, I want you to make it. Because, well, we'll see." I was like, "Cool, okay." So we made our plan for the next day. Hey, you know, you go ahead, whatever. And we'd actually been like texting as we got service, like, "Hey, I'm at this mile marker. Hey, I'm at this mile marker at the tops of the mountains." Okay, that was kind of like our shindig way of keeping up with each other, which we did. Because, like you said, you're out there all alone. You got to keep up with each other. Well, this time going to Fontana Dam, there's a few things I didn't know. Fontana Dam, or I guess that Fontana Valley area, no cell service. No cell service whatsoever if you have AT&T. Sprint, the resort does Sprint like hotspots. Because they know if you want to use your cell phone, you have to be near a hotspot. I got AT&T. Phone did not work whatsoever, okay? So number one, I cannot communicate with Tammy, okay? Number two, we talked about staying at the resort. We were under the impression the resort was right there off the trail, at least within walking distance. It's not. The resort is a mile uphill, maybe even 2, up the hill away from like the trail and the Fontana Lake or whatever that lake is, all that stuff, okay? It's uphill away from the trail and stuff. So I got down there, and I'm reading the signs, and I'm like, I see a little sign that says there's a marina right down there that sells beer, ice cream, and food. Well, immediately I go over there and get me an ice cream and a beer. Excuse me. Give me an ice cream, give me a beer, and I'm thinking over the situation. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Tammy doesn't know where I am. I can't contact her. She can't contact me. The resort's not where we said it was. So I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Do I want to stay at the shelter, which is another mile, which we never talked about, or just go hit the resort? It's my birthday weekend, or birthday time. What do I want to do? I said, fuck it. I'm going to stay in the resort. I'm gonna stay in the resort. I'm gonna take me a day and a half and stay at the resort. That day, the next day, and then leave the next morning. So I guess like 2 nights. 2 nights, 3 days, okay? So I went back up to the top where you actually call for a ride from, away from the marina. Called for the ride up there to the resort and got the ride up there. It was gonna be like $100 a night to stay there. It's a full-blown resort. Like, it's got like a pool, a lazy river. I mean, it was honestly like one of those places where if I had money, like lots of money, I would want to do like a family reunion there, because you have all of these options. They had like a mini golf course, they had volleyball, basketball, like I said, all the pool stuff. You got the lake at the bottom of the hill. I mean, it was pretty legit. And then no cell phone service, so you kind of get everyone's full attention. Pretty legit, but it was gonna cost me $100 a night, okay? I'm cool with that, it's my birthday. So I went, got a cop right behind me. Bet I get pulled over. Always when I got this damn camera out. We're good guys. Anyways, $100 a night. So I tell the front desk, I'm like, look, there's a young lady, she's blonde, she's about yay high, she's got a nose ring. If she shows up, give me a call, okay? We were supposed to meet up on the trail. We're supposed to share a room. I got a 2-bed room, like two like queens or twins in a room. I was like, we're gonna share this room for my birthday. And she goes, okay, I'll let you know if that happens. And she kind of gave me that like, sure. A woman's gonna come here and request to be in your room. Okay, we'll see. Like, you know, like, sure, Logan, sure. Just because it's birthday doesn't mean anything. Anyways, I actually got set up in the room. I showered. I did my laundry in the shower because I didn't have like a laundry that I wanted to pay for. I just did it in the shower. Had a nice little buzz from like all the beer and ice cream that I ate. But I started getting hungry again. Did I already eat? No, I'm lying to you. I went and ate and everything else. I was getting ready for bed. It was that late in the night. And then I get a call from the front desk that says, hey, there's a lady asking for you. And I went, oh, Tammy. I went downstairs or at the end of the hall, and lo and behold, it's freaking Tammy. I don't know what happened. I don't know what took her so long. I don't know anything about it. But Tammy was there. And we ended up getting to hang out together. And thank God she was there, to be honest with you, okay? Like, no like weird, no shenanigans happened or anything like that. But I couldn't actually like call my family and friends. Like, you know, like text them, call them, or do anything like that for my birthday. I could call through Facebook Messenger because I had Wi-Fi at the hotel. But it wasn't like people knew to contact me that way, so I had to contact everyone else. It was very lonely, I'll be honest. It was very lonely in the fact that I didn't have a trail family at the time. I didn't have my family, which I'm used to doing stuff with. And I'm necessarily used to being at home for my birthday, but it was just kind of like a low moment for me. I don't think I should have stayed the extra day there at the resort, just because I don't think it was good, like, mentally for my health. But I did, and that's what I went through, was just waiting for something fun to happen, which is you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to make it on your own. So it was bad on me all the way around. But at least Tammy was there, and I say that because we went and did like the lazy river together. She actually did the laundry the right way, not just in the shower. She's like, Logan, let me do your laundry for you. I was like, fuck yeah, like, do my laundry. Ended up getting some boxed wine there to hike out with. I mean, I had a good time. I did, but just the whole birthday thing kind of threw like a dark cloud over it. It shouldn't, but it did. So that's what happened with Tammy at the Fontana Dam that first night. The second night, like I said, she did the laundry and stuff. We went grocery shopping. I met a guy. The guy hiked in at dinner, okay? And immediately, you can tell a hiker. You know a hiker as soon as he walks in. If he's not even wearing his backpack, you know a hiker. The clothes, the smell, the look, you know a hiker. So me and Tammy are sitting there at dinner, and this dude walks up, okay, to eat dinner. His name's Gary. Oh, Mr. Gary. I love me some Gary. Gary is doing a large section hike from Springer Mountain to wherever, okay? I think he wanted to make it to Damascus. Well, Gary's hiking out in the morning. We're hiking out in the morning. He pulls out his map, scoots his chair up to our table, and he says, hey, let's like, where are you gonna be the first night, the second night, the third night, the fourth night? Because we're about to get into the Smoky Mountains. That's the jump off point going north for the Smokies. And I tell him what I'm thinking, because the shelters are either like 5 miles apart or 12 miles apart, all through the Smokies, okay? The Smokies is not a place that you want to camp outside of a shelter because of the bears, honestly. The bears have had problems with them. They don't want you to camp outside the shelters. You can if you want to, you just might not have a good time. So Gary lays it out, and I'm actually feeling pretty good. I want to do the 10 to 12 mile shelters, okay? And this is the point where Tammy kind of starts backing up. She goes, you know, I won't be able to do it. I don't think I'll be able to do it. I was like, well, Tammy, just try the first night. If you try the first day and you can't make it, I understand. No harsh feelings. I had a lot of fun hiking with you. He goes, well, let me think about it. But I want you, Tammy, I want you to at least try, because I enjoy spending the time with you. Like, you're a cool lady. I'd hate for you to go off all on your own and just not be okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, you're a strong woman, but still, you saw me, a random strange, and was like, oh, thank God, a man. I mean, come on, Tammy. I like you. You can't be having that. So, the next morning, we wake up. We all wake up, and we said we're gonna meet at the lobby at this time. So me and Gary go meet in the lobby. We're all packed up. Tammy's still getting packed. We get some coffee. We're talking to some random people. They're like, well, what are y'all doing? What you got these packs for? Yada, yada, yada. It's like, well, we're hiking the Appalachian Trail. We just met last night. My hiking partner's in the room getting our stuff finished, packed up, all this other stuff. And the guy we're talking to, he goes, well, I got my whole family here for a family reunion, but they don't get moving until about, 8 or 9. Do y'all want a ride down to the marina? We're like, you'll give us a ride down to the marina? He goes, y'all can throw all your stuff in my minivan and I'll take you right down there. No issues. So as soon as Tammy came out, me, Gary, and Tammy all hopped in that dude's minivan. Some rando we had just met hopped all in that minivan, and he shot us straight down to the AT. Shot us straight down. I'll be honest, Gary was fast hiker, and then it was me, and then it was Tammy, and we're going into the Smokies. And that hike down to actual Fontana Dam, and then across the dam, is probably one of the most picturesque things I've seen. And then the first fire tower. So what happens is you go across the dam, go across a little dirt road, and then that starts the Smokies. You've got a little box that you put all of your AT through hiker paper slips in. You throw your paper slip in there, and that's like your permit to go through the entire Smokies. Now, if someone else has a permit that says they're allowed to be at that shelter, they get that space before you do, because you're kind of like an extra, because you started more than like 80 miles before the Smokies. You're considered a through hiker, but that's how that works. You go in, you put your sheet in, then you hike up. The first thing you can see is like a fire tower. And I'll be real, y'all, that first fire tower on the Appalachian Trail into the Smokies is probably one of the most picturesque things I've ever seen. It is beautiful, it is awesome, and it's right there. Like, I think it's like 5 miles in or whatever. It's awesome. And that's where I met some other people too. But I'm gonna cut it off right now, okay? So we met Tammy. Is Tammy gonna make it? I don't know, hope so. Met Gary. Gary's a big player, I'll be real. What else happened? Oh, freaking Carlos, drinking at the NOC. Great times had by all. So, this is another installment of my Appalachian Trail this past summer, or summer of 2019. Y'all keep watching, I appreciate it. And remember, keep your corn on the cob.